Hello all, and welcome to this webinar where we'll be discussing e-commerce and micro-fulfillment within supply chains. So with us today, we have Sarah Adenau and Michael Pietras, both business development managers at Autostore Systems, and of course myself, Constanze Haas from Endava. Let me give you a brief introduction into the topic we'll be covering during this webinar, and then we'll jump straight in. So Autostore were the pioneers of cube storage automation, the densest order fulfillment solution in existence. This solution is invaluable in today's e-commerce landscape that is in a current fast growth phase, and perhaps even more so following a year where we've all been at home a lot more. With e-commerce growing as an industry, there will be many hurdles, learnings, and improvements to fine-tune the technology that sits behind it, facilitating its deliverables. And today, we're lucky enough to hear directly from Autostore on how their specialized system is helping their customers to overcome these challenges. So before we dive deeper into the topic, could you tell us a little bit more about Autostore and its mission? Maybe if you want to have a go at that, Michael, I'm just going to put you on the spot.
I'm actually going to punt to Sarah. I think she's got a nice response for this, so we'll give it to her and rotate from there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Connie, for the introduction. And we really appreciate to be here today and to give our view on the current market situation. And I think which is quite interesting and important to know is that Autostore was invented out of necessity. So in the 1990s, the Hatteland Group became the largest distributor of electronic components in Northern Europe, and a large new warehouse was constructed. But within its first month of operation, the shelves were filled to capacity, and yeah, we need something to be done. And of course, we thought we can't just continue building new warehouses when we need more space. So therefore, the air between each shelf is expensive and wasteful, and we can see that in a lot of warehouses all over the world. So warehousing should be much easier, and the material handling could have a huge productivity chain if the goods came to the pickers instead of the pickers getting the goods, which sounds quite easy, but yeah, we needed to get to that point. And for more than 2 decades now, we have continued innovating by joining software, hardware, but also human abilities into tailored solutions for our customers. And today we have more than 700 installations all over the world, and our installations make warehouses and order fulfillment operations more productive and especially more space efficient, which is quite important nowadays. So we have more than 20 years of experience, and we have developed a solution with speed, stability, and control in mind. And the pioneering spirit is the integral part of our Autostore DNA, we call it. And our vision is to continue to invent in the future of warehousing. And that's our main mission.
Sounds great. And I see that Autostore works closely together with partners that deliver the final solution of what, from what to the clients. Could you explain that a little? And also, how far does Autostore go into these projects themselves? Really keen to know.
Sure, I'll take that one. So our go-to-market strategy is to work with partners or integrators to implement our systems globally. So at the end of the day, we are a systems manufacturer, and then we partner with these integrators that help implement, install, and commission these systems. That's not to say that they run the show fully. We partner very closely with them throughout the process. So from introduction to potential client, to concepting, to proposal work, to implementation, we're there together with the partner to answer any specific questions about the system, to help develop it and make sure that it's designed in the right way to fit the requirements and needs of each individual customer. So we've got about half a dozen partners in the United States and dozens globally. but we feel that our partner network is very strong and educated and capable when it comes to implementing and supporting our systems globally.
It's great. Yeah, having a good like partnership network is yeah, really important. And yeah, are there some typical industries or markets where these systems are mostly installed, and what's the most notable benefit that you can see there?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So we actually have a really nice spread between, across multiple verticals. So if it can fit into an Autostore bin, it's likely going to be a good candidate or a product that can be used in our system. So whether it's pharmaceuticals or grocery or traditional retail, e-commerce, any type of piece or unit level pick operation is going to be a potential application for Autostore. So we actually have a really nice distribution between all those verticals, in addition to industrials, 3PLs, high value goods. So we really, I think Sarah mentioned 600 plus systems globally now. That's distributed pretty balanced between all those verticals.
All right, interesting. Yeah, because I was actually wondering if pharmaceutical was one of the markets that you're active in. So that's, yeah, because kind of an obvious one because of the size and everything. That's very interesting. All right. And I mean, you already mentioned, yeah, e-commerce. So I understand that the growing e-commerce trend is the main business driver for quite a few of your customers. How do you see the market evolve in the coming years? What are the trends where we will see the biggest changes?
I take that one because I love online shopping, of course. No, but I mean, we have seen the rapid rise of e-commerce has created a new mindset among all our customers, and the huge growth has also introduced a whole new setup of logistical challenges for suppliers. So we've seen that especially last year during the pandemic. So I would say within e-commerce, consumers often have low patience and high expectations, and and especially with regards to transparency and accurate delivery. I think it's most important for the end consumer to receive the right product at the right time. And by automating a warehouse, customers or brands can raise the efficiency of the operations so that they can deliver more goods, and especially that they can deliver the goods faster. So I would say automation has also added benefit of being highly energy efficient, which is good for the running costs, but especially for sustainability, which is more and more important for everyone. Yes, and with e-commerce, I think one of the biggest challenge is volatility. So I would say with the Autostore system, sudden dips in demand can be absorbed by the system. So for example, you can simply just add more robots to ensure that you have the capacity for the huge demand in peak seasons. But you can also expand the system during the operations. So while the system is up and running, you can always expand the system, which is quite good and which also gives you the flexibility you need within e-commerce. Yeah, what can I also say? So I think, which is also very good when I'm talking about flexibility. So the Autostore system itself is designed also for reinstallation. So even if a company needs to move the warehouse to another facility, the system can be reinstalled as well. And what we also see within e-commerce is, of course, also a huge demand for high-value inventory items. So it's very important to know exactly where they are in the warehouse, and it's also very important to know how many items you have left in the warehouse. So the Autostore system gives you always the visibility of your items within the warehouse. And that's also focusing on the end customer with the high expectations. That's very important because, yeah, if the customer is receiving the wrong item, or if the customer is purchasing an item and then you see, oh, we don't have that on stock anymore, then that's very disappointing for the end customer. So I think that's another very important point, and we see that demand on the market as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of factors that you just mentioned. Really interesting, like to see the relevance across like multiple factors here. I can imagine that, like especially for like high value items, it's all the more important to have that transparency and visibility to kind of have a good customer experience in the end as well, to see how it's all connected. Yeah. And I mean, like as a whole, we see that micro fulfillment is one of the hottest trends in the supply chain scene at the moment. You see that like popping up, in all the industry events and other webinars and people talking about it. So the ability to get products into consumers' hands quicker than your competitors is the ultimate goal. We could also say that I guess it is a strategy enabling today's retailers to decentralize fulfillment and create a better customer experience and redefine the retail landscape essentially. How does Autostore help retailers today, and which type of retailers are interested in this type of solutions? What are the main challenges there?
I'll touch on that one. So, you're going to hear a common theme throughout these questions of our notable benefits. And Sarah mentioned flexibility, density, and success rate or uptime, system uptime. So I'm going to talk about that in relation to micro fulfillment. So, with micro fulfillment, with in-store applications, you have a really wide range of building types and product types within these operations. So you might have low ceiling clear height, tall ceiling clear height, a small section in the back room where you have available to put a system, and we can make that work with Autostore. So we're not confined to a specific configuration. We can really shape the system to maximize your warehouse or store space. And that's a key advantage in this micro fulfillment surge. You mentioned decentralized fulfillment. We're seeing this specifically in the retail, apparel, footwear space, and especially in the grocery space. After 2020, with COVID-19, there was obviously a surge in buy online and pick up at store for groceries. And so that really caused a lot of interest in that specific market sector for micro fulfillment. So, our notable benefits of being the densest solution around, 99.7% uptime for our systems across 600 installations, and then the flexibility to build in those various spaces are really what's driving the interest level and the success of Autostore in the micro fulfillment space.
And I would say, because I'm located in Germany, so I would say that the US is one step ahead with regards to micro fulfillment centers. So it's more commonplace over there, but we also see more demand within Europe as well. So I think that's really one key market, and we are definitely focusing on that topic as well.
Yeah, and just to put some numbers to this, in a micro fulfillment space, you might have a system that's 500 or 2,000 bins of product being managed by a couple of robots. Well, Autostore has the ability to scale down to that size or up to a mega size where you're storing 500,000 to 1,000,000 bins and processing tens of thousands of order lines per hour. So, we mentioned flexibility and beat the drum of that, but it really is true to the ability to go up and down. And especially with these smaller systems, it's a good fit for us.
Yeah, that's an amazing kind of scalability potential that makes you a really attractive partner to all these businesses. I guess like also Sarah, the current development that you see in Germany with online grocery order services like Flink and Gorillas, that's like a really interesting development for you guys as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, we touched upon challenges regarding COVID-19 already, and I can imagine, like, I mean, that pandemic sort of was an eye opener, I think, for many businesses in terms of digital challenges that they're facing. So just like in general, not even related to COVID, but like, what are some of the digital challenges in micro fulfillment?
So I'll take that, and I'm going to answer as a non-IT guy. So, I'm going to try and keep it in simpler terms. But basically, with micro fulfillment, you have a lot of digital transactions that take place between the store and the customer or the user. And so there could be hundreds of thousands of orders that come in daily, and you have to manage the prioritization of those orders as you fulfill them throughout the day in your operation. So, you need a good software platform that can manage those orders as they come in. And then, as you know, customers change their orders on the fly too. I know my wife is always adding, a couple extra items a couple hours before pickup, from our online micro fulfillment or grocery. And so, with those changes and with that prioritization, you need a good platform. So at Autostore, we have a good software base that runs our robotics, the controller that runs the bots and the traffic control themselves. But we've also, we've recently bolstered our software capabilities with the acquisition of Loci within the last year. So collectively with Loci, Autostore, and then our partners' software capabilities, we really help manage that complexity that comes with active and dynamic order release within micro fulfillment.
All right, thank you. That's interesting perspective on that. Yeah, I'm the same with regards to last minute changes to grocery orders. We have that all the time. You think you made like a nice little order of all the things you need, and then last minute you remember all the things and you forgot. So guilty as charged here.
Yeah, and just a little extra flavor on the grocery side, you have product mix differences too, right? You have to manage chilled, ambient, frozen environment items. There's certain products that can't be stored together, whether it's meat and vegetables or general merchandise. And so you really need it's key to have software that can identify those characteristics and then move the product within the storage system in an efficient and good way.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I guess like groceries with an intense smell and all of that things that you have to
smell, weight characteristics. You don't want to
Yeah.
put a gallon of milk on top of a carton of eggs and get in a
Yeah.
bad situation there. So that type of thing matters, and software is key for that.
Yeah, that's really clever. And are there some, if you like thinking not of like the immediate future but just a bit more ahead, are there any like advanced future trends you see for the industry in micro fulfillment in particular, like big picture type of style trends that you could see coming up?
I would say that the globalization and then, of course, the exponential rise of e-commerce and most recently, of course, also the coronavirus pandemic have fundamentally affected the logistics. Like I said in the beginning, we have seen that within the last 12 months. And we can say that logistics is entering a transformative decade, I would say. So advanced robotics and automation technologies are becoming increasingly commonplace within our industry. That's what we see day by day. And we are moving towards automated processes to boost throughput, cut costs, and also meeting the growing customer demand in the end. And micro-fulfillment is really a focused topic, like Michael already explained, and especially for automation and robotics technologies, so also for Autostore, of course. And I think encapsulating the concept of small-scale warehouse facilities in urban locations close to the consumers is really important, because land is, of course, more expensive in cities, and at the same time, shorter delivery times, and also 24/7 operations are mandatory. And of course, consumers at the same time are also looking for sustainable solutions, because I think sustainability is really a very important topic. And these are the areas where Autostore is also focusing on, and we are working on that topic as well. And the pandemic really has increased the demand for urban facilities, I would say. I think we were already on the way to micro-fulfillment in urban facilities, but during the last 12 months, the demand for that has really just increased.
Yeah, skyrocketed almost,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it really, I mean, I would say for at least for Germany, I would have suggested that before the pandemic to come in the next 5 to 10 years, but now we have 1 to 2 years, I would say. So there's really a boost on that demand.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. Which is a great development for everyone.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, right? I mean, so many things are much more easier.
Yeah.
At least like silver lining to the what happened in the last couple of months.
I agree with
And
that.
yeah, I mean, any like, I don't know, additional like visions from the US, or like basically kind of same situation to what Sarah just described?
Yeah, maybe a additional context on micro fulfillment. We're getting asked for more and more performance and support for these. So specific to micro fulfillment, you have two scenarios. You could be picking product for orders out of a system, for people to pick up, or you could be storing completed orders and buffering them for eventual pickup. And so we're having clients ask for the capability to do both within the same system. So to buffer completed orders and to pick orders out of the same system. So that's a unique challenge to balance the storage capacity and the items represented in each system to manage both functions simultaneously. We're also being challenged to store a wider variety of types of product. So whether it's fresh goods, ambient, chilled, frozen, we're developing systems that can manage all of those inventory types within the same system. So that not only is that current system capability, there's some roadmap items that we have through our R&D team to help address those challenges, because they're coming and they're coming rapidly. So,
Yeah.
it's a challenge to keep up with those asks, but that's what we're seeing. So increased item representation, increased performance for micro fulfillment.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you're the pioneer in that, so who better to master those challenges, right?
Absolutely, it's a fun challenge to tackle, and we've seen success with a number of clients out there in multiple spaces. So we want to keep it going, keep the foot on the gas, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the right attitude, Michael. I love that. And so I mean, we're approaching my last question now, and because I'm always like, like little quirky things. I was just wondering, from, you already described the very diverse footprint that Autostore has across multiple industries and market, but aside from the ones that you're already active in, are there some more unconventional areas where you can see Autostore having an impact?
Yes, so I think we can say that we receive a lot of requests from potential customers from unconventional areas. So we see that, I would say, day by day.
All right.
And I think the main focus from us is really to offer the best solution for each customer. So each solution is really individualized by the request and by the demand of that specific case. In general, I would say that every day we are pushing borders to increase efficiency, safety, and developing new products for our customers. And there will certainly be more to come because, of course, we receive unconventional requests from our customers, and then we try to find the best solution for them. So there's definitely more to come, and we are continuously working on our system and also on new application areas. And in general, we can say that we have a really stretching focus area. So in larger and smaller setups, we find a solution for any organization at almost any size. And I think that's really most important for us within Autostore, that we are always focusing on the customer request and on the specific demand. So we said we have currently more than 700 installations worldwide, and none of them is really exactly like another one. So it's always really individualized case by case. And Yeah, so we are happy to receive more of the unconventional requests from our customers and then designing the best solution for them. But there's definitely more to come. And of course, we are also focusing on micro fulfillment, of course, mainly on grocery, but not only on grocery. And we also try to combine omni-channel solutions for bricks and mortars as well, because I mean, of course, e-commerce is growing very fast and it's really important, but we shouldn't forget about omni-channel and bricks and mortar as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, could just be like a really nice additional revenue stream for your traditional brick and mortar business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I moved out to the countryside during the COVID pandemic just for, you know, the need for more space and greenery around me that I didn't have in central London. But I actually really came to appreciate brick and mortar businesses more, just to, you know, be able to walk on the high street and just get whatever you need. Yeah, I mean, if you live in a big city as London, it's always tied to you know, like a ride on the subway and all of that, which is something you'd rather like to avoid, especially during COVID. And so yeah, definitely an eye-opener for me as well. And are you able to, I don't know, share what was like one of the more unconventional requests that you received, like a really memorable one? I mean,
I think, Michael, you have a famous name in the US.
There is one specifically. We actually had an inquiry from the U.S. government to store paperwork, to store you know, top secret or secret files within a library database, and so we actually have a system. It's not secret anymore. You know, there's a YouTube video that covers it very well. That I can provide the information to you, Connie, after the call. But basically, it's you know, every bin contains unique paperwork, and there's tens of thousands of these bins for the U.S. government. So that's a pretty unique application. That's not, you know, your traditional business or retail side. It's you know, for the government. So I thought that was a pretty cool, unique application that we haven't seen often. So that's one case study that I have.
Yeah, I love that. That's really interesting. I can, yeah, just kind of imagine that all sorts of like archives, you know, where they store really ancient documents and all of that stuff, where you need like take some, I don't know, like a librarian or someone who works there to like retrieve the files, and just like a lengthy process, I suppose, is a really good.
Yeah, being able to store more of it in a smaller space, to be able to track down the specific paperwork through, you know, our software management, tying specific papers to specific bins, is all key to that unique system. And then, you know, product life, right? Paper can degrade over time.
Yeah.
So to have it in a system that's, you know,
like
secure.
a climate controlled environment in a way. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. You know, kind of circling back on the unconventional areas, I think the main message is that we're seeing more and more asks on the smaller side and the larger side. So what are the limits, you know, the limitations of the Autostore system? We're having family businesses inquire about Autostore. We're having Fortune 100 companies ask about, you know, how big can you make it? When does it break? And so I think those are the unconventional asks for us of, you know, we used to look at things in such a numbers way as far as payback, return on investment for the system. And I think more and more people are looking for the convenience factor for the system, you know, the ability to not have to go out and try and find labor that's hard to come by, especially in this competitive market. I don't know how it is in Germany and England, but for us, there's a hiring surge nationwide, and capable workers are hard to come by. So that's why we're getting some untraditional asks for our systems.
Yeah. I mean, I guess also like what Sarah mentioned in terms of volatility, especially over the last couple of months, definitely will have had an impact, right? Between like pandemic and like strains on supply chain, ship getting stuck in the Suez Canal, and whatever else happened in addition to that, as if that wasn't enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's yeah, really enjoyed. That was really insightful what you shared. And I mean, whatever aside from the, you know, the YouTube video that you mentioned about the US government secret file storage solution, whatever else you know, links that you have, just send them over, and we'll can include them when we put the webinar online.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Because we, of course, during the pandemic, we also did some virtual reference visits with one of our customers as well. So it's always good to hear the user experience on the system as well, especially when it comes to ergonomic for the workers, etc. So that will definitely be interesting, and we will share that as well.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, especially, you know, we have that unconventional case study, but it's good to have name recognition with clients. So whether it's Puma or Best Buy or some of these other well-known entities globally, we'll share a couple of videos that reflect those success stories with those bigger names.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and thank you for your time today. This has been a really insightful discussion, and I'm sure our audience will agree as well. And yeah, for everyone who will be watching this, I'd welcome anyone to write any questions or thoughts that people might have in the comment section below, and we'll get back to those and answer them as quickly as possible. And yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining our webinar, Sarah and Michael. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Connie. It was really nice.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you. And yeah, goodbye.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.